Welcome to this figure painting lesson. If you go down into description, you can find hyperlinks, which enables you to jump around into the different segments in this video. So check it out. Hi tubers, it's me again. I just finished painting, so I'm gonna show you. It is this one over there, a smaller one, and I have worked with very thick colors to build, if you can see, to build the light. And see here too, just very impressionist, very thick, very vivid, and to get this extreme effect. You see it's kind of glowing, almost glowing and dark, so it's quite pleasing. It was difficult. It's always difficult to work with that kind of vivid color, but it also it's a pleasure to kind of get it right. So yeah, so remember to share my videos and subscribe to my channel, and yeah, okay, basically what I have to say today. So until next time. Here you can actually see how I sketch. I sketch on a darkened canvas. I use raw umber to do this, to tone it down, and then I build the sketch from dark to light, as you see. So I jumped over the whole thing here and I go directly into the painting, which starts basically now. Yeah, this is just a short video of some thoughts about building light. When I build, I lay these layers on top of each other, and I always try to build this so in the end you get a feeling of the light, not actually that is not light that hits the surface and throws it out, but you build until you get a feeling that the painting is actually sending out light. And the way of doing this is to concentrate about building thick layers of color in the light areas, and not as light within here, the different, and also skin and hair, as it is here, has different textures, so it's very important to do that. And it's also important, for some reason, I don't know, there's probably something with the physics of the painting, you have to let it dry and you have to build on top of what you build. For some reason you get probably more like a pastel surface, so that sends out the light, and I guess it's pure physics. And also you can't just pile on white, because white is like black. It's not really dark. It's just no color. So you have to build colors into the texture and into the whites. I see that people often do that. They just, there's some light, so they just throw on some more white and it dies. There's just a few spots that will be totally in the white. The rest is nuances from the darkest to the lightest. It's very important to understand these things to get the right feeling of it. And as you see, I have been working this way, but I can also work the other way. If you actually do some reds in the white here too, so then I can just put some other texture down there again, and you get different types of directions and layers and stuff. And yeah, I was at the Met in New York just now and saw this black slave painted by Velasquez. It's an amazing picture. It has everything. I would recommend to see that. I don't recall the name right now, but you figure it out. Yeah, the slave that he painted. It's a beautiful painting. A portrait. Anyway, if you see now, yeah, at the Met, when I look at paintings, I often feel like I miss something, and the paintings that is missing something is the paintings where the artist hasn't pushed the colors and his skills to the limit, but more made a painting that suited the let's call it the style or fashion at that time. But then you have people like Rembrant and of course Turner and also Velasquez that really pressed it further. And what one see is in the paint is that they are very subjective painters. They are observing it in a way neutrally. They don't bring their it's timeless, and it's because they are in love with the paint. So you see, when I build this, and so am I. So, and as I say, 5 minutes of painting make me more happy than 10 hours of the best TV series or anything else that we. You see, now they start to kind of glow. Yeah. When you keep on doing this and all the nuances, they have to come together. It's more light here, it's not that dark. It can't be that dark because this is so light, so this has to be lighter. I hope you learned something from this, and yeah. And please tell me, leave comments and under the video and ask questions. You can even ask me if you have any suggestions of a video you like to see, or you want me to answer some questions in a short video. I will try to do that. If you want to, you can. All of you can post questions under this video, and I will make another one where I actually answer your questions. Let's have a Ask Me Anything video. Of course, I may not answer everything, but you can ask me anything. So, okay, I hope this has helped. It's just, yeah. So you see how I build and build and build, and then I let it dry, and I start building again, because I make my paint into clay, and that is what you are going to look for when you see paintings. How did I paint a light? How did I build? Did I build? And when it comes to places like this, to get the light, I build like it is. Yeah, basically clay. And yeah. So please post questions, and I will do my best to answer them in another video. If there is any interest for me starting to streaming on YouTube, you can also tell me that. It could be nice to have some direct interaction with people. See, I'm gonna screw it up a little bit. It's also always hard to get away when you start with stuff like this. Oops, yeah. Okay, thanks for watching. So, as you see how I build, the whites are thick as clay, because it's and it has some yellow in it. So I just put on thick colors to create this illusion of 3D. You have to have some color in the white, and here it's basically cadmium yellow, because it's a lot of red around, red and blue and violet, so that creates a feeling of real light. See it's kind of the light comes out of the painting. So, and I also change stuff a little bit all the time. It's actually quite difficult. I usually go back and forth many times until I find the right thing. And here also some reddish, cadmium red, cadmium yellow. I don't mix them together, but I just let them, in a way, be pure, but within the white. So when I put it on, it's almost like a rainbow I put on, because you can see all the colors kind of laying in stripes within the white. if you mix them together, you don't get that effect. You only get, then it would be orange. Now it is yellow, it is red. It's both at the same time, and then it mixes into the color that you want. It's like if you put blue and yellow, blue and yellow, and you don't mix them together to make green, but you just take in blue, yellow, and you grab some white. The eye will do the rest. The light will do the rest, the light that hits the surface. So, that is one way to do it. I guess other people have other ways to do it, but it is almost like doing impressionist painting, just on a micro level. It's very dark in here, so it's hard to see. Goes more out here. And now she starts to turn, kind of stretches and turn. The more I push the shape, this is just to trace it in a way, and then I go in and remove the lines, and in the end I make sure that the lines are basically disappeared, because it can be lines like here, but you have to also have some color in the reds. Not in the black, I mean, or the blue, or whatever color I use as a shadow. Has to be some purity to it. And I've noticed that to get the best effect, it's very important to clean up surroundings, that you don't get stuck at one place, right? Or that you, so it's not so much disturbance around it. The difficult thing is whites around whites, like here you have also texture, so it's very different. You have to have color in it, and there too. This, this. Do that later. reds, just I don't know, to get this spot of light. Yeah. It's difficult if you just put on here and you have to go over it and over it again to mold this so it feels natural. And it's layer upon layer upon layer. Yeah. I started to get stuck in some details like around here, and I just need to let it dry, I guess. Yeah. And now it's a lot of white down here, just white, but then this shadow becomes too hard. So what I do to dissolve it is just going in and going back and forth with different colors, which I see, you know, it's reddish. I just need to do it in that way, and so kind of link these two together. As if you see, and then I darken it down again. So you want a shadow that isn't hard. You never see that in nature, so you don't want that to happen in a painting. You want it to become fluid, and yeah. Actually, I need to get some color here. It is strange because I can see some of my first paintings. I did all the mistakes, and I also see that other people actually do the same mistakes. Everybody has to go through the same process. So almost you can't discover light speed before you have discovered gravity. So it's the same. Everything is kind of to build on experience, like in science. So it's quite hard because in this painting is very reddish and yellow. Those colors tend to become too rich, and when it becomes very rich, it can look good at the photograph, but it isn't that good as a painting unless you really keep on making these lines and shadows very fluid. I guess the thing is that a photograph is 3D and no, 2D I mean, but a painting is actually 3D because you have the physical paint. On a print there's only one surface, so that gives a different feel to it when the light hits the surface. So, which can actually be in the beginning confusing until you actually understand these things. Now you see I'm quite careful. It is time-consuming work, but of course it goes faster when I'm not filming. When I'm filming I tend to fall out of the flow, and that can be quite, it makes it much more difficult. The flow is extremely important to find that virtuose it's almost like, well, it's not that bad. It's probably not that bad. It wouldn't be possible to play the piano while speaking to people. Or maybe it is. I haven't been playing piano. I just would like to learn it though. But and I guess it's some of the same things here. Everyone has to use my oil. As you get into a deep flow, to find the right tones and stuff. Suddenly I noticed that the arm is how to. You can use your fingers, use your nails. Well, I saw that the arm should be more bent there. I'm going to show you. So what I do is I put my little finger on the canvas. So I know a friend of mine who's using this stick, but that is not the right thing for me. So I just start pulling towards me, making the line a little bit bigger, and just keep pulling. So now it's a little bit more natural. And I go back and forth many times, and I keep on moving everything. I've said this 100 times before in my other videos, but it is basically what I do. So I keep kind of softening it up. It's so nice for the first sketch because it's so open and it's so spontaneous, but as with everything else, if you want to learn something new, you have to kill your darlings. You have to keep on moving towards something that is better, and to get to something better, you have to overpaint and just keep working. I have some kind of idea of or where I want to go. And that kind of becomes my objective spectator, which tells me that this is good or bad. It's like, how far am I from the old masters? How does it add up? How bad is it? I think having an objective standard like the old masters is crucial, because if you only view yourself in the light of other artists, other maybe people who only work with it as a hobby, but haven't done the work that is needed to become better, you will easily be able to say, oh, I'm better than them, therefore I'm good at this. But if you take the best of the best in the world and you only compare your work with the best, you will always have that objective spectator, or the objective measurement to look at when you paint. So you will start actually evolving your own capability to see. You will start seeing things in different ways. Like the first time when I saw Edvard Munch, the Norwegian artist, Sick Girl, or Syk Pike, as it's called in Norwegian, of Edvard Munch. I was like 22 years old. I just started in a drawing school, and I thought it was crap, because it was just a lot of brush strokes and everything was dissolved, and I really only liked the kind of paintings that Isedal, you know, these very romantic paintings with all the brushwork, very brushed out, because that was my limitation, my mental limitation. But when I kind of discovered my own subjectivity, and I think that's what I did, I discovered my own subjectivity at the age of maybe 24, 23 or 24, which means I suddenly realized that objective truth and subjective feeling or belief usually doesn't add up. You know, you have to go for the objective. You have to try as hard as you can to get out of yourself and kind of be an observer of your own subjectivity in an objective way. And it's probably the hardest thing you can do, because your personal bias will always try to pull you back. So like this became totally crappy now because I was talking and I wasn't. But then again, I just, and I suddenly saw that just random brush strokes. I didn't really see because I was talking, and now it's just a mess. So, but anyway, I have to get this. I do that with most things now, actually, because I try to take in as much information as possible about stuff, because I don't really trust my own subjectivity. Of course, I use my intuition when it comes to stuff, but I don't trust my intuition like I trust my own feelings over objective reality. Anyway, it is 6 in the morning, and I should go to bed now. I always try to make these videos shorter, but I usually don't succeed. Oh, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to fix this and then I'll go to bed. It's quite easy actually, it's not that hard to fix it. It's just to go in and kind of dissolve it and make it natural. Like you just have to shake it up, and you know, nature doesn't work like this, it works more like this or this or okay, so I kind of have to repeat that. When the natural laws create something beautiful, like a piece of wood that has been in the sea for a very long time, it wasn't a plan, it was just chaos that took over, and it was the sum of chaos and the natural laws that created all this beauty. The beauty of the textures and the colors, and then in the end it kind of looked planned. It looked like somebody did it on purpose, but it's just a sum of all. Every time it was touched by the laws of nature. And when you get into the flow, when you paint, that is actually what happens. You stop thinking, and in a way intuition and chaos takes over, at the same time as you are able to step back, and nature can't step back and watch its own creation, so you can actually step back and look at it and see if it feels natural. And that is the word I'm after. I'm after the word natural. If a painting looks natural, it's good. If it doesn't look natural, it's not a good painting. And the way I see it, most things that I've done have natural things in them, good things in them, but I still have a lot to learn, and I think that is a good thing, because it will keep me occupied the last third of my life. I am 48 now, and I guess men in Norway only become like 80, which means I have 32 years left to live. And if I get more, it's a good thing. If not, that is my playground, 32 more years to play. So, make it good. Jeez. So, back to detail. Working with the rose and the white, and yeah, it's always exciting. Very detailed work. The thing here in this painting is that everything is quite, this is very white and very bright, so it's not realistic in a way. It's more let's call it over real. So all the greens and the yellows are very bright, and yeah. I wonder if I'm gonna start doing some more neutral paintings that are more inside the canvas, more subdued in the colors. But I just have to see. Okay. A painting like this takes quite a long time, and it almost is this never-ending story, because you can always just keep on working, always something more you can do. But then again, life is short, and I want to get some more done. Sometimes get silent when I'm focusing, forgetting you are here. It's my neighbor upstairs. He has a store and he's making some noise. It's like 7:30 in the morning, and I'm just going to keep on working on this until like 11 o'clock, and I'm gonna do some stuff before I sleep for 6 hours, and then I will start painting again, because I have a deadline with some paintings I'm going to deliver to this exhibition, this collective exhibition. So it's not going to be a realist thing, so it's just going to be very potent. Yeah, I think the word is potent. The colors are very potent in this. To fix on the body and this one. So I think the face is starting to look quite okay. So it's very dangerous to start doing stuff on the face when you have a deadline, because it just takes a couple of brush strokes to fuck it up, and then you have to use 12 hours to find it again, and I don't have the time for that now. zoom in a little bit so you can see better. I think I can't have to move the camera. Like this. Yeah. It's so subtle when you come to this point. Because it is like when the sun kind of hits the surface, you get this extremely vivid light, or sun hits green leaves on a tree. You get this extreme shadow and light, and it's beautiful. So that's the kind of effect that I'm after in this. And I'm putting on quite pure colors. To get that. To get it deeper here, I just take Alsarin Crimson and some orange. I just go in and put in a spot there so you get more. Some here. It's too much, maybe. If it's too much, you just take some lighter color and you just go over it again. So, and you just mix it on the canvas like this. Well, that's how I do it anyway. So, I guess you just have to figure these things out. There was a guy who sent on Facebook who sent me a picture of a painting he had been painting, and he suddenly told me, first he posted it in my group on Facebook, and then he sent it to me privately, and he told me he wasn't pleased with it after all. And I said that I could understand that, because what he did was kind of, he made it into, he didn't, well, he used his fantasy to create some kind of religious type of light in a window and stuff. And I just told him, paint what you see. Don't try to be an artist, just paint what you see, and the art will come naturally. So, and be an honest painter, be honest. And he was honest, so I guess it's gonna fix it. The thing with oil is that you can just keep on building on top of it, and you don't have to you don't have to be concerned about the layers underneath. You can just keep molding. So. Here I'm using a more synthetic pencil. This is the details, and then I stopped using the the boar bristle. I am anyway this bad copying machine. Copying machines doesn't have a subject, so when an artist paints what he sees, he brings his subjectivity into it. So, and that is what I guess makes up the art part. And also the word art in this original form, I've read somewhere, means having a skill, being able to create. And of course in the arts this has lost its value for the last at least 120 years. So, but to me that is what matters the most. Yeah. Now there's so many different colors in this painting. It's really hard to get around it. It's green, it's blue, it's reddish, it's especially in the background. So I just have to concentrate and get it done. Can do some details over here. I just want to clean up something here. It's too messy. I have some more pure color. Maybe the palette is too messy. That's also a problem. Now it is actually not totally white what I put on now. Some green in it, and just wanted to look as bright as possible. Almost like it's burned out, which the photo actually is, in a way, to get that extreme intensity of light. It has to feel like it's nothing but light, and yeah. I've never seen actually a painting in the big museums who press the colors and the contrasts that far, or this far. It's probably because they because I didn't learn it from anyone. I taught myself to paint, basically. And I looked at pictures of the old masters, and in the pictures the contrasts are much stronger. So I guess I tried to do what I saw in these books, and when I see it in reality, they are quite 3D, like Rembrant, but it's not as 3D as I thought they were. So, but then again, and sometimes I also feel that it becomes a little bit over the top. So, well, I guess that is also my personality. It's also a little bit over the top. So it is kind of built into my genetic structure to pressure everything. I've done that. I was a welder. I was over the top. I always done martial arts and always pushed myself to limits. There's nothing half-baked about me. When it comes to opinions about stuff, everything is just all in, and I'm glad I'm like that, because at least I know who I am. I know who is looking back at me when I look in the mirror in the morning, and I find that to be a very good tool to live this life. I dislike sketchy people who doesn't show their true self. Because I have nothing to say to people like that. When I meet people, I usually assume that they are honest, but it's very rare one find a person who actually are. To fix this, I'm also using my fingers. Sometimes I use my nails. Actually, Turner stories about Turner was that he always had a dirty nail that he was scraping. Like this one, he can scrape. And maybe I should grow it again. I used to have long nails. Anyway, enough ranting this time. So, just doing some touch-up. It has been quite difficult because of the contrasts are so extreme. So it's the combination between the extreme contrast and trying to make it into a sort of realism is quite difficult. So, anyway. Cracking the color. So. Just keep on seeing more and more as you go along, and just before you think you're finished, you just start to think, maybe I could go further and further and further. Time starts to flow, and so annoying. it's quite nice. So just making the shadow a little bit less obvious. Everything in the background just has to be fluid. So. And here it's really thick color, really thick, to explain the shape. And if you make it a little contribution right there. Some lines, you know, a little bit sharper. So, see, it comes right up. It's like the Rembrant, Night Watch. It's built like that. If you see around the shadows, it's really built out. So. Actually, I think this is it. There's always something more. You want to sign it? Yeah. Let me show you afterwards how it goes. Cool. So, okay. I think maybe that. Yeah. It's a little bit too big. I think it's just going to be like that now. The leaf here is a little bit bigger than it should be, but we'll just leave it as it is now, because I haven't got time to start changing the size of it. Just do some detail. Yes. Give it a little more. Get a little bit more believable. So, yeah. Okay. I think. Always so hard to tear myself away from it. lifetime of this kind of fight. It's a strange life actually, because you're never finished with anything. You never come close to your goals. It's hard. It's intense life, I would say. Burns very bright. Now I'm going home to my hometown. It's an exhibition in my hometown, home island, Karmøy, and I gotta finish a couple more, three small ones, and I'm gonna take the plane tomorrow and actually be there when it arrives, because it's so wet that I'm afraid that it's gonna be maybe it becomes a little bit messy, because it's very thick with colors around there. So I take the photos with me, and if something happens I can just fix it. I can't leave that to my parents. There's actually sunlight that comes in there. I did set up some mirrors and stuff, and it's from my old studio. And so it's very natural light that comes in. And hits her like a really beam of lights. So, come on, tear yourself apart. Enjoy the silence. It's so difficult to see because the bluish inside there come very extreme lights. And tend to, it's almost like you're winding it up, and you know, if you have winding something up, it comes to a point where it just breaks, and kind of that is how it is with these contrasts. You come to a point and you can easily lose the tension. So it's important to be careful. It's actually more in the shadow, but I tend to, well, if I do like this, it becomes more correct, because then you see it compared to the brightest parts. But then again, this is the way I do it, and go back and forth and touching it and trying to find the right feeling of skin, natural color. It's not easy, actually, people. So yeah. This is the point when you issue a cream all days. So maybe no too much. I hate you. So, no, that was totally wrong. Okay. So this is the hard part. When to stop. I have a bad stop system. My stop system wasn't evolved correctly. Okay, welcome to the end of the video. Here you can actually see some of the painting, how I have built the different textures and how I built light and dark. You see I built thick in the light areas and thin in the shadow areas to create the sculptural reality in it. If you want to support my channel, you can go to my Patreon and sign up for $5. For a $5 patronage, you can actually win a small painting every month in my Patreon giveaway. And if you go for a $30 Patron, I will teach you how to paint through Skype and videos and directly. You can also add me on Facebook. So check it out, leave a comment and give a thumbs up. You find links in description and also to Twitter, to Facebook, to my webpage and more. So go check it out, leave a comment, give a thumbs up and of course subscribe to my channel. Okay, see ya next video.